Millions of years ago, life was hard for prehistoric humans. There was little difference between humans and the wild animals around them. Both had to hunt to survive. The strong lived. The weak died. There were no laws, no comfort. Only one rule mattered: survive through the hunt. Every hunt was dangerous. One mistake could mean death. When humans killed an animal, they used every part. The meat was eaten. The skin became clothes. The bones turned into tools. Nothing was wasted. Children learned early. They threw small spears. They watched adults bring down prey. This was not a game. It was life. Hunting was never for sport. It was the only way to live. Each morning, the hunters woke with one thought: find food or die. Even after a big kill, hunger always returned. They moved in small groups, following the animals across plains, forests, and rivers. Their spears had sharp stone tips, tied with animal tendons. Their clothes were made from skins of past kills. Cold winds cut their faces, but they kept walking. To stop was to lose the trail. Sometimes the prey was weak, an old deer, slow and tired. But most of the time, it was fast, strong, and ready to fight back. They chased antelope across the open land, running until the animal collapsed from exhaustion. They hunted wild boar in thick forests, knowing one wrong step could bring a deadly tusk to the leg. The hunters moved silently. A single sound could send the prey running. They learned the ways of the wind. If the wind carried their smell to the animals, the hunt was over before it began. They read the land, the split hoof print of a deer, the round paw of a big cat, the deep, heavy steps of a mammoth. But humans were not the only hunters. Lions and saber-toothed cats hunted the same prey. They were stronger, faster, and always hungry. Sometimes the hunters became the hunted. When a kill was made, the work had to be quick. The smell of fresh blood carried far. Hyenas, wolves, and vultures would come, stay too long, and the hunters could lose the meat and their lives. Nothing was wasted. Meat was dried for later. Fat saved for the cold months. Skins turned into clothing and blankets. Bones shaped into knives and needles. Even the sinew was used for bowstrings. Children grew up fast. At 5, they learned to throw a spear. By 10, they joined the hunt. By 12, they had seen death of animals and of their own people. There was no kindness in this world. If someone was too injured to walk, the group could not wait. To slow down was to starve or die. The world was wild. Humans shared the land with deadly predators. One of them was the giant snake, silent, patient, strong enough to crush the life from any creature. In the thick forest by the river, a man moved quietly. His eyes searched the ground. Under a pile of leaves, he found them, Large, smooth, warm snake eggs. Food was always rare. These eggs could keep him alive for another day. He broke one open and ate quickly. Nothing was wasted, but the giant snake did not forget. It returned, following the scent, back to the camp. Night came. The man slept. The fire burned low from the shadows. The snake struck, its coils wrapped around him. Tighter and tighter. He could not breathe. His chest felt like stone. The tribe woke. They shouted. They grabbed spears, heavy sticks, stones. They struck again and again. The snake loosened its grip and slid away into the black forest. The man lay on the ground, weak, in pain. His people gave him water. They chewed leaves, pressed them to his wounds. This was their medicine. But to heal, he needed food. The next day, hunters went to the river. They stood still, spears ready, a flash of silver. A spear struck. A fish was caught, cooked over fire, given to the injured man. Danger was everywhere in the prehistoric age. Every choice could mean life or death. Even taking an egg could bring a deadly enemy to your home. The man survived. But survival was never complete. Wounds left scars, pain stayed in the body, and danger stayed in the land. Every day, the tribe woke at dawn, not by choice, but by need. The first light meant it was time to search for food again. Some days, they brought back fresh meat. Other days, only bitter roots or hard berries. Hunger was always there, in summer heat, in winter cold. The rivers could give life or take it. In rainy seasons, they roared with deadly force. A hunter who slipped could vanish in seconds. In dry months, the rivers shrank to mud. Fish disappeared. Animals moved far away. The humans had to follow. Every new place held risk. A quiet valley could hide a predator. A forest full of fruit could be full of biting insects. At night, there was no safety. Fire gave light, kept some animals away, but big cats watched from the dark, eyes glowing in the firelight. Every step required care. A snapped twig could give away a hunter's position. A careless hand in a bush could meet a snake's strike. Even drinking. Water could be deadly. Crocodiles waited still as stone until they attacked. Their tools were simple: spears, stones, clubs. But their strength was in unity. They hunted together. They fought together. They survived together. When one was hurt, food was shared. When a child was left alone, the tribe took them in. Alone, a human was nothing in this world. The seasons shaped life. The dry heat cracked the earth. Grass turned yellow. Animals left in search of water. The humans followed, walking for days, carrying only what they could hold. Water was carried in skins. Every drop was precious. When boom, rains returned, grass grew high, rivers swelled, the herds returned, the hunters followed, but with the herds came predators, lions, hyenas, wolves. They too were hungry, and they hunted in groups. Every hunt was a battle of minds. Humans used their eyes, their ears, their memory of the land. They read tracks, broken twigs, scents on the wind. Sometimes the prey escaped. Sometimes it fought back. A single kick, a sharp tusk, could kill. Every meal was hard won, and every victory was short. Tomorrow, the struggle began again. The elders held the wisdom of survival. They knew the healing plants. They knew where to find water in dry land. They taught the young to throw spears, to hide in tall grass, to read tracks. Without this knowledge, the tribe could not survive, but even skill could not stop nature. A wrong step could lead into a predator's den. A sudden storm could flood the valley. A broken bone could mean death. Still, they endured, because there was no choice. In the age of prehistoric humans, there was no comfort, no safety, no escape, only the hunt, the search for food and water, the fight against cold, heat, and the beasts of the land. The man who faced the giant snake now walked again, his scars a reminder. Take from the land, but the land will take back. It was the law of survival. And so, the tribe moved on, eyes scanning the trees, ears listening to the grass, always alert, always ready, because in this world, only those who were ready survived.